Hello everybody, welcome to our first of the academic year online assembly. It's so great to be back with you all, and I hope that you guys have settled back into the rhythms of school and that you're enjoying it and you're having a really good time so far.
So, thinking back over the last few months, can you think of a time when someone has shown compassion?
So why don't we just pause the video right now and you can chat to the person next to you what the word compassion means.
Maybe you talked about feeling sorry for someone or being unhappy if they're unhappy. Maybe you talked about being moved to act kindly towards someone because of how their situation made you feel. All of these are great explanations for what compassion means.
Harvest is a time of year where we remember and give thanks for all the food we have. Traditionally, it was a time of year where we would go and harvest the fields. However, right now, we aren't farmers.
No.
We don't go out and we don't farm. Well, some of you might be, but we don't now normally go out and harvest those fields. And what we do now is we can give thanks for the food that we have from the supermarkets and those kind of things, and we get to share our food with others.
Many food banks at this time of year rely on the compassion and generosity of schools and churches and individuals for the food that they need. Jesus tells a story in the Bible from the book of Luke about someone who shows compassion.
He behaves kindly to somebody because he feels bad about their situation. This story isn't about food, but it could be. It's a story about generosity and compassion.
A man was testing Jesus and asked him, "Who is my neighbour?" Jesus replied by telling a story. Once there was a man who travelled from Jerusalem to Jericho, and on the way he was attacked by robbers, beaten up and left badly injured on the road. The man lay there in the hot sun and wondered who might possibly come and help him. After a long time, a religious leader came along. He saw the man on the road but passed by quickly. A long while later, a religious teacher came along. He also saw the man and crossed over to pass by on the other side. Was anyone going to help the man? The day wore on and the man was still lying there. Eventually, a Samaritan came along. He was an enemy of the man on the road, but the Samaritan had compassion for him. He got off his donkey to help him. He bandaged the man's wounds, sat him on his donkey, and took him to the safety of the nearest hotel. Then he paid for the man to be looked after until he got better. Jesus said, "Which of these three was a neighbour to the man in need?"
Hold on, this story is so old. How can we make sense of it today? We don't live in Jerusalem. How about this? What if it was set in Brighton? Maybe instead of a beaten up man, we find a homeless man. Who might we expect to help? Who might we not expect to help? Maybe instead of bandaging his wounds, we might give him money or buy him a sandwich. Maybe instead of putting him on a donkey, we get him an Uber lift. Maybe instead of paying for him to get better in a hotel, we take him out to a restaurant for dinner or to a local supermarket and buy his weekly shop. Maybe we have different neighbours and different ways of showing compassion. When we feel bad about a person's situation and do something to help someone we see in need, this is called compassion. We don't have to do something, but we do. We want to be kind because we care.
Most of the time, people show compassion to the people closest to them, people that they know. And that's good, that's the right thing to do. But what Jesus does in this story is he shows us that we can have compassion to people we don't know, people we've never met, people who might even be our enemies.
So you might like to pause the video now and discuss as a class, who is your neighbour?
How can you show compassion?
Why do you think other characters didn't help?
How could you show compassion without spending money?
That's a good one. Has anyone ever shown you compassion or radical generosity?
And do you have any questions about the food bank? If so, we'd love to hear them. You can email us, the address is in the questions.
Giving food to a food bank is a way of showing compassion to people we don't know but who are in need. Being radically generous in the food bank doesn't mean donating like a value range item or cheap products, but quality things. Things that you like to enjoy.
At our food bank, we can be generous to our clients by asking them what they would like to eat or what they need, and being able to give those things to them because of your generosity. We want to go above and beyond, not just with the food, but in talking with clients, listening to them, helping to meet some of their other needs like housing or finding a job.
Now let's take a quiet moment to maybe close our eyes and to have a think about some of these questions. Have you ever been moved by someone's situation to do something to help? Think about how that made you feel. How do you think the Samaritan felt when he saw the man on the ground? And after he had helped him to the hotel? What makes us show compassion and generosity?
Now I'm going to say a short prayer. If you would like to make it your prayer too, you can say Amen at the end after me, or you can just listen to the words. Dear God, we thank you that you are compassionate and generous. Thank you for all the good things you give us, like food to eat and people who care for us. Please help us to show compassion and generosity to others, especially to those in need. Amen.
Amen. Well, that's the end of our first assembly of the year. We hope that you enjoyed it. I certainly enjoyed the little Lego. It's really fun. And we will be back next month with our next online assembly. So if we don't see you before then, we will see you. Yeah, see you then. Bye.